Hey guys, Stan the Man here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're just going to be continuing our countdown to WrestleMania, reviewing the last 20 WrestleManias. And today we are going to be reviewing WrestleMania 29. Now, this holds a special place in my heart because my first WrestleMania I went to was at this arena. It wasn't this WrestleMania, but it was WrestleMania 35, which was at MetLife Stadium. But man, I'll tell you, I sure as hell wish I went to this one. But at that time, it was WrestleMania 29. I was only a fan since like Mania 25, and I was kind of a younger kid, so I didn't really think or could afford going. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into this. Now, I guess we'll start with Triple H taking on Brock Lesnar in a no-holds-barred match. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. I mean, probably, just because I'm a super big Triple H fan, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. But the year prior, Brock Lesnar was making all these crazy demands and shit like that. And, Triple H, the COO, they were playing it on screen. Brock Lesnar didn't get what he wanted. He beat the shit out of Triple H, and he broke his arm. So, he was on the shelf for a long time, yada, yada, yada. When his arm heals, Triple H comes back, challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam, and Shawn Michaels is going to be in Triple H's corner. Well, long story short, like a week or two before SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar attacks Shawn Michaels and breaks his arm, so Shawn Michaels doesn't end up being there. The two face each other off at SummerSlam. Decent match, but once again in the end, Triple H lost, and he got his arm snapped again. And then he pretty much almost quietly retired almost. And then months later, Triple H returned. They brawled a little bit. He protected Vince McMahon from Brock Lesnar, his father-in-law, and challenges him to a match at WrestleMania. No holds barred, and I believe if Triple H lost, he had to retire, which I hate when they do that because then you usually know who's going to win. But anyways, this time Triple H had Shawn Michaels in his corner, and Paul Heyman was in Brock Lesnar's corner. And if you want to see a physical no holds barred match, oh my god, you got to watch this. Triple H chucking Lesnar into the wall. They both beat the living hell out of each other with steel chairs, whipping each other over the back, suplexes through tables, German suplexes on the floor. Like, it was freaking incredible. And then Shawn came in the match where he tried to sweet chin music Lesnar, but Lesnar picked him up and hit him with the F5. And then later on in the match, Heyman gets in, tries to hit Triple H with the steel chair. Michaels gets in, hits the super kick on him. And then, we made it to the end of the match where Triple H hits the pedigree on the steel steps, where he finally beats Brock Lesnar, who's basically been making his life a living hell the past year. And it was nice, him and Michaels hugged at the end, because, Michaels knew how much hell Brock Lesnar was putting Triple H through, but they made it through the end, and overall I thought the story was really decent, and the match was more than exceptional. Okay, up next, we have The Undertaker versus CM Punk. Now, basically, Paul Bearer, Undertaker's longtime manager, actually died that year. So, CM Punk and Paul Heyman were very disrespectful. Undertaker comes out when the Druids are holding, the fire sticks or whatever, and Taker walks through them. CM Punk was disguised as one, beat the hell out of Undertaker, and poured out, quote-unquote, Paul Bearer's ashes on the Undertaker. It was so... That's my text tone. It was so rude and disrespectful. It was fantastic. And then, one of the weeks, Paul Heyman dressed up as Paul Bearer. It was crazy. And then, also, you guys know, the urn is the Undertaker's mystical power, gives him his courage, makes him strong. They stole that from him. I remember CM Punk was juggling it backstage and he dropped it. It was just crazy, insane mind games, but wow, it definitely was great storytelling. The match itself was actually pretty good. I think there's that part where CM Punk does the diving elbow through the table to the outside. That was freaking absolutely crazy. I also love the part where Punk's got Taker in the Anaconda Vice, and Taker does the signature sit-up and the eyeballs in his face. But, like all the opponents before, Undertaker drops Punk on his head with the tombstone and beats CM Punk. And then, he grabbed the urn back from ringside and he did his signature pose, which he calls the Shakespeare. And while he was doing that, Paul Bearer, his obituary photo was on the screen, fireworks going off, Taker basically saluting to his best friend and his manager for all the years he was with Undertaker. And it was just a feel-good moment. And personally, I think this was really the last good Undertaker WrestleMania match. I mean, I don't think any of them were really super special after that, but that's just my opinion. But overall, I was very satisfied with the match and the storytelling. And up next, we have the twice in a lifetime. The Rock defending the WWE Championship against John Cena. Now, basically, John Cena suffered a devastating loss to The Rock the year before, so he wanted to get his retribution. Basically, the whole year leading up to WrestleMania was just John Cena going through hell. It was getting his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar, Tenzai, a lot of John Laurinaitis stuff. He publicly was divorced. All the CM Punk, 2012 was a shitty year for John Cena. So he basically said the only way to get my retribution to face the champion at WrestleMania is to win the Royal Rumble. So, of course, Cena wins the Royal Rumble for the second time. And at that same pay-per-view, the Rumble, The Rock defeats CM Punk for the WWE Championship. At that time, CM Punk was the longest holder of the current era, 400-something days, and Rock beat him. So, of course, John Cena got to face the champion. And what made it so much better is John Cena was more desperate this time, where it made it a little bit more entertaining because, The Rock basically said, you think you could beat me, I know I could beat you. So, that really made it good. The match itself was crazy, of course, just like the first one. Very close calls with finishers, with rock bottoms and attitude adjustments. But, in the end, John Cena gets the victory. And this was the main event, the last match. And, my favorite part is when they go to the top of the ramp and Cena's holding up the title and, Rock holds his arm and basically congratulates him, and they get that famous photo of the two of them at the top of the ramp. It was, a lot of people are angry that it was 2 years, but, I didn't mind it. At least there was decent storytelling, and we got to see Rock again, and he just did a good story with Cena, I thought. And it's pretty crazy to think the two of them main evented WrestleManias 2 years in a row, the same match. But, it's them two, so it's not really a surprise. But, yeah, guys, I really like this pay-per-view. Like I said, it holds a place dear to my heart. But, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Comment down below what your favorite match on the card was, what you thought of the show overall, and I will see you in the next video where we will be reviewing WrestleMania 30.